Welcome to my channel. Today, we're exploring Stellar Defiance, a sci-fi journey where humanity stands strong and defies the odds across the galaxy. Dive into epic starship battles, powerful tech, and the resilience that makes us unstoppable in a universe full of challenges. If you're ready for a thrill-packed adventure in deep space, hit subscribe, and let's get started. In the farthest reaches of the galaxy, where civilizations flourished and fell under the weight of their own ambitions, there was one species that stood out, a species whose relentless determination, born from trial and error, became the cornerstone of their approach to life, exploration, and discovery. The species in question was humanity, whose unyielding quest to understand the universe was characterized by a fundamental truth: progress was rarely linear, and it was often born from failure. For many alien species, the concept of trial and error was not just foreign, it was inefficient and even foolish. Advanced civilizations, many of them centuries, if not millennia, ahead of humanity in technological development, had long since perfected their methods. They had learned from the mistakes of their ancestors and had streamlined their processes to the point of near perfection. To them, the idea of fumbling through trial and error seemed like an outdated approach, something that belonged to a primitive, undisciplined species. But humanity, despite its relatively young age compared to the civilizations of the galaxy, was not deterred. Humans embraced their mistakes, their failures, and their setbacks, seeing them not as signs of inadequacy, but as opportunities for growth. It was this spirit of relentless perseverance paired with an uncanny ability to learn from their errors that set humanity apart and eventually led to scientific breakthroughs that would reshape not only their world, but the entire galaxy. It began with Earth itself. For centuries, humanity's scientific endeavors had been marred by a seemingly endless string of failures. Whether in the fields of medicine, physics, or engineering, progress was often slow, punctuated by missteps, misunderstandings, and false leads. Yet these very failures were not seen as defeats, but as the foundation for greater discoveries. Early scientists, inventors, and thinkers on Earth had to contend with the limitations of their knowledge, but each failure led to a deeper understanding of the natural world. The laws of physics were rewritten, biological systems were understood in more complex ways, and medicine evolved with each experimental misstep, each new theory that proved wrong but pointed humanity toward a better truth. For the Galactic Council, a collective of the most advanced species, humanity's unrelenting trial and error approach was viewed with skepticism. The Council's members, races that had long mastered genetic engineering, quantum mechanics, and artificial intelligence, looked down on humanity's primitive methods with mild disdain. To them, the path to knowledge was one of order, logic, and precision. They had developed ways to predict outcomes, to calculate the probabilities of success or failure, and to avoid unnecessary risk. Failure was anathema to them, a mark of inefficiency. Yet, it was this very inefficiency that would eventually prove humanity's greatest asset. The first significant breakthrough that would catch the attention of the galaxy came when humanity, through sheer trial and error, discovered the key to manipulating energy at a subatomic level. For decades, Earth's top scientists had been experimenting with the concept of energy efficiency, seeking to harness clean, limitless energy without catastrophic consequences. However, each attempt to create a sustainable fusion reaction ended in failure. Every new experiment, every new reactor design, collapsed under the weight of its own instability. Yet, with each failure, humanity learned something new, refining their approach with precision that only came from understanding exactly what went wrong. The breakthrough came when one particularly stubborn team of researchers, after years of failures, devised a new kind of containment field, a magnetic resonance system that stabilized the fusion reaction by adjusting in real time to the fluctuations of energy. The design wasn't perfect at first, but the critical insight gained through countless unsuccessful tests led to the first sustainable fusion reactor. This reactor didn't just provide energy, it offered a glimpse of the future. A future where clean, limitless energy could power entire worlds without polluting them. The entire galaxy, long dependent on finite resources or environmentally destructive power sources, looked on in awe as humanity shared this discovery. For species whose scientific methodologies were based on prediction and controlled experimentation, humanity's success, born from years of failure, was nothing short of miraculous. More breakthroughs followed in quick succession, each one more groundbreaking than the last. The trial and error approach to scientific discovery, once seen as crude, became revered. The Aleutians, a species known for their vast biological research and genetic engineering capabilities, marveled at humanity's ability to evolve new medical technologies, not by calculating perfect solutions, but by experimenting with endless variations until the right combination was found. Humanity's approach to disease eradication, developing vaccines, treatments, and cures through clinical trials and error-prone processes became a model for other species. The Aleutians, whose own genetic alterations were highly controlled and perfected over generations, saw in humanity a kind of wisdom they had long forgotten. The Aleutians, in their pursuit of perfection, had often eradicated biodiversity, creating genetically homogeneous populations that lacked the adaptability of Earth's ecosystems. Now, they saw the value in the human approach and acceptance that biological systems were not static, that life itself was an ever-changing web of complexity that required flexibility to navigate. The true scope of humanity's influence became apparent when they began sharing their medical knowledge with other species. The Andorians, a race known for their long lifespans but high susceptibility to genetic disorders, were initially resistant to humanity's less-than-perfect methods. They were accustomed to precision in their medical sciences, relying on highly advanced diagnostics that could predict the course of diseases with remarkable accuracy. Yet, as their population began to suffer from a new, previously unknown viral outbreak, they found themselves helpless. The Andorians, with their unparalleled knowledge of genetics and bioengineering, had no answer for this alien virus. Humanity, with its trial and error mindset, stepped in. Using an experimental approach based on previous viral outbreaks on Earth, human scientists rapidly developed a vaccine through a series of iterative trials, tweaking and modifying the compound until it could successfully neutralize the virus. This was not a product of flawless science, but of continuous refinement. The Andorians were stunned. Their traditional, controlled methods had been incapable of solving the problem, while humanity's willingness to embrace failure and keep trying had saved countless lives. Similarly, in the field of space exploration, humanity's trial and error approach inspired breakthroughs that were eventually adopted by the most advanced species in the galaxy. The United Stellar Federation, a coalition of highly sophisticated species, had long mastered faster-than-light travel, using a technology based on wormholes and space-time distortion. However, their methods were cumbersome and inefficient, requiring vast amounts of energy and time to create stable wormholes. Humanity, lacking the technological sophistication of the Federation, embarked on a more experimental path. Through years of failed attempts, mishaps involving unstable warp fields, catastrophic testing of dark energy, and countless attempts at artificial gravity, the breakthrough came when a human engineer, testing new magnetic field alignments, accidentally discovered a more efficient method of creating stable warp bubbles. This method, which was initially considered reckless, became the cornerstone of faster-than-light travel across the galaxy, revolutionizing space travel in a way that no species had anticipated. What had seemed like the folly of a primitive species was now recognized as a monumental contribution to galactic technology. Even in the arts, the human method of trial and error led to innovations that other species would never have considered. The Terethians, whose civilization was built on perfection and precision, were initially baffled by humanity's chaotic and unrefined artistic endeavors. Yet, as they observed the creative process on Earth, they began to appreciate the freedom and unpredictability that defined human art. It was through constant experimentation, through refining techniques, altering styles, and breaking established rules that humanity had created some of the most profound art the galaxy had ever seen. The Terethians, whose own art had long been static and harmonious, found inspiration in the human approach to creativity. They began to loosen their own artistic constraints, producing works that were as much about the process of creation as the final product itself. As the years passed, humanity's trial and error approach to science and innovation became a model for countless species across the galaxy. Where other species saw failure as something to be avoided at all costs, humanity saw it as an inevitable part of progress. Failure was not a reason to give up, but a reason to learn, to adapt, and to try again. The endless cycle of trial, failure, and eventual success became the defining feature of human ingenuity. In the end, it was not just humanity's scientific breakthroughs that inspired the galaxy, it was their resilience, their unwavering belief in the power of persistence and experimentation. For all the other species in the galaxy who had perfected their methods and achieved greatness with little more than controlled precision, humanity showed them that true innovation often came not from avoiding failure, but from embracing it. Through trial and error, humanity proved that the path to discovery was not always clear, but that the journey itself was what made the ultimate breakthrough possible.